Hello and welcome to the Week in Review, where we take a look back at your weekly headlines on the Western Slope. I'm Chad Roderick. Now, as Washington continues the congressional blame game over the shutdown, U.S. lawmakers from Colorado are weighing in on the situation. Ariana Boss takes a look at political perspectives from our elected leaders.
As the federal government plunges into the first day of a shutdown, Colorado legislators from across the aisle continue fighting over who is to blame. The shutdown took effect at 12:01 Wednesday morning after Congress failed to reach a resolution on a Republican-backed spending bill, funding the government cannot function without. Republican U.S. Congressman Jeff Hurd took to X on Wednesday, saying in part, quote, "Democrats once said shutdowns are dangerous and self-inflicted harm. Now Democrats shut down the government over unrelated policy fights." Republican U.S. Congresswoman Lauren Boebert also chimed in on X, accusing the Democrats of being willing to, quote, "shut down the country to give illegal aliens health care." Democratic Senator Michael Bennet says accusations like this are lies.
That's just a lie. I hate to say it, and I hate to use that word.
Democrats say they're fighting to protect health care benefits for Americans, preventing their bill from passing until Republicans get rid of recently enacted cuts to Medicaid and extend tax credits for health insurance.
The Republican leadership has put a bill on the floor that was essentially their way or the highway. Instead of making life easier for Americans, President Trump and his colleagues in Congress passed a bill in July that will strip health care and food assistance from millions of Americans.
U.S. Senator John Hickenlooper took to X this morning, saying, quote, "In June, Republicans voted to kick 15 million Americans off their insurance. Now they want to let health care premiums double for millions of families. They refused to fix the health care crisis they created and plunged our country into a government shutdown. This is the first shutdown since 2018, and with no immediate resolution in sight, the nation braces for the consequences of Congress's indecision." Ariana Boss, Fox 4 News.
Montrose Regional Health in the San Juan Valley is once again coming under fire from the U.S. Equal Employment Opportunity Commission for allegations of age discrimination. Ariana Boss tells us more about the recently announced lawsuit.
Montrose Regional Health is being sued for age discrimination for the second time. The U.S. Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, or EEOC, filed a lawsuit against the San Juan Valley-based hospital on Tuesday. The claim? They are again in violation of federal law, this time for allegedly harassing and discriminating against older nurses and retaliating against them when they complained. In an EEOC press release, the nurses were said to be harassed by two managers, one of which who said she wanted younger nurses to take over, wanted more youthful and energetic staff, and claimed older workers were lazy or not willing to work hard. Montrose Regional Health strongly denies the allegations, claiming over 61% of its workforce is aged 40 or older, the very group the Age Discrimination in Employment Act was put in place to protect. In a press release, the hospital says in part, quote, "While MRH takes this type of claim very seriously, the organization is both disappointed and concerned that the EEOC has chosen to pursue litigation, given MRH's long-standing commitment to providing a respectful and nurturing workplace." The first time the EEOC sued Montrose Regional was in 2016, claiming the hospital fired or forced the resignation of a group of employees due to their age. That lawsuit was settled for $400,000 and required the hospital to perform annual anti-discrimination training for their staff, revise and distribute its anti-discrimination policy, and report to EEOC any complaints of age discrimination. As a result of the settlement, EEOC Phoenix District Director Elizabeth Cadle said she expected hospital employees to see an improved working environment where they won't be mistreated based on their age. Ariana Boss, Fox 4 News.
An alleged roof scam has left a local nonprofit back at square one. The Veterans Arts Center in Grand Junction says they're out about $20,000. Marge Tobin has more on these allegations.
Veterans Arts Center officials say that after raising $20,000 through donations, fundraisers, and a grant, they paid a deposit to Curtis Smith of Redeemed Roofing, LLC.
We finally had our $20,000 to make the deposit, and it was like deliriously, we're finally going to get our roof.
But according to Wendy, once the checks were handed over, Smith allegedly disappeared. She said he reportedly cashed the checks and then went silent.
The email bounced with no domain, and the domain was his company name, the Redeemed Roofing, and so I went to the website. It was gone I couldn't email them. I tried the phone and it just says your call is being transferred, but it never went anywhere.
The center, which uses art therapy to help veterans and trauma survivors, says they're now back to patching leaks and rebuilding their roof fund all over again. They've since connected with at least a dozen other people from around western Colorado who also allegedly lost money to the same contractor.
There's about 10 or 12 people from Glenwood to Telluride that have had the same problem.
A theft report has been filed with the Grand Junction Police, and the case is now with the department's Financial Crimes Unit, according to Wendy. No criminal charges have been filed against Smith regarding this incident, police officials say. In the meantime, a new roof company has stepped in to patch the worst leaks before the winter hits, and center staff says they are looking for ways to help with the $20,000 loss.
They're working with their corporate office to see if they can come up with anything to give us a really reduced rate to kind of make up for the $20,000 that we've lost.
Despite the setback, the center isn't giving up. The Veterans Arts Center is continuing to fundraise and thanks the community for the support. Marge Tobin, Fox 4 News.
And Country Jam announcing Friday on social media that they will be taking a break in 2026 to reevaluate and plan for the future. Operating in Mac for 33 years, Country Jam has become the largest annual country music festival in the state. It has headlined multiple artists in the genre, including Rascal Flatts, Blake Shelton, Carrie Underwood, and Jelly Roll. Details on what organizers will be reassessing were not specified. And in other news, Montrose County Sheriff's Office tells us the search continues for the person responsible for shooting a horse in Hanks Valley. Ariana Boss spoke with the owner of Easy Boy, the horse who we're told was inches away from losing his life.
They are the closest thing I have to children. That's a gut-wrenching thing to walk upon, especially on something that is kind and innocent like Easy.
Kaylee Odell is a rancher and proud horse mom at Western States Ranches in Delta County. On September 18th, she and her boyfriend Kenyon rode out to run cows in Hanks Valley. When she called the horses back to camp for dinner time, her beloved horse Easy was nowhere to be found.
Easy is always, always, always the first one into grain. He is my lovey lush and he loves grain. And so whenever he didn't come in, I knew something was wrong. I just had this ache in my chest.
She and Kenyon leapt on their horses to search for Easy. When they found him, to their horror, Easy had been shot through his neck.
At this point, I had no idea if he was even going to live. I didn't know if he was going to be okay.
Kaylee rushed Easy to the hospital, and just in time.
It came all the way through his neck, out his right side.
She says the gunshot was inches away from his spine, which likely would have ended his life. Miraculously, the good-natured 4-year-old is expected to make a full recovery, but questions still remain. Who shot Easy, and why have they not come forward? For the person responsible, his mother has a message.
You had the opportunity to call anonymously. You could have told somebody about it, and you'd made a choice not to. To make a mistake is one thing, but own your mistake, make it right. Be an adult and be a decent human being.
Ariana Boss, Fox 4 News.
Investigators continue to comb through the rubble of a Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints building in Michigan after a man opened fire there and then burned down the building. So far, the FBI has done more than 100 interviews with victims and eyewitnesses, including with one man who described the suspect as someone who hated the Mormon Church. Officials say the death toll could have been higher if not for the heroic actions of worshipers. Adults shielded children, while medical residents helped the wounded. And nearby, a group of striking nurses left the picket line and ran to assist first responders. As the recovery process begins, investigators are searching the gunman's cars, home, and electronic devices to determine a possible motive. And the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints is trying to heal after this week filled with tragedy and loss. Ariana Boss spoke with a local church official to find out how their community is finding peace after the passing of a prophet and last Sunday's deadly attack on a fellow chapel.
This week has been one of mourning for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Communities here in the Western Slope and worldwide are grieving both the passing of their president and prophet, Russell M. Nelson, and the tragic attack on a Latter-day Church in Michigan, which left 4 dead and 8 wounded.
This weekend has been very emotional for all of us.
Russell M. Nelson died last Saturday, having just celebrated his 101st birthday. Church officials say his contributions to the expansion of the Latter-day message around the world are immeasurable.
He announced over 200 temples for us across the world. He visited all kinds of people in all different countries. I think he visited 36 different countries, visiting and speaking with the popes, the presidents, the different political leaders.
Still reeling from the announcement of President Nelson's death, Sunday churchgoers at Grand Junction's Latter-day Saint chapels were horrified by news of an attack on one of their fellow churches in Grand Blanc, Michigan.
We were in our chapels at the time, and when we heard it, it was announced over the pulpits, and let's pray. What songs can we sing, that hymns that can bring us back, bring us this peace? Because it's a shocking thing.
We're told the unique familial bond President Nelson passionately contributed to worldwide has helped the local Latter-day community heal in the aftermath of Michigan's massacre.
When something like this happens in Michigan, we are touched, and we feel it sincerely too. Say, like, I go to Ghana, I go to my church there, and it feels similar. We worship the same God. We sing similar songs. When something happens to the church itself, we all feel it.
Ariana Boss, Fox 4 News.
We're told the church has received an outpouring of support not only from their own communities but from other religious groups as well. Local synagogue Ar Shalom released a statement of solidarity, saying in part, "We are heartbroken by the recent tragedy and stand with you in this time of grief and mourning." And school safety is always a main priority, whether you may be a parent or the principal. As you recall, recently a Caprock Academy employee who was arrested for allegedly attempting to meet with a minor is in custody. Kyle Kawamoto has more on what the academy is looking to do moving forward.
Everybody here, especially me, is safety so that teachers can work and students can learn.
Just about a month ago, 45-year-old Shane Chatfield, a Caprock Academy staff member, was arrested after he reportedly sent illicit text messages to a supposed minor. But this wasn't the only case. There was a former teacher who was let go in 2023 after he was charged with having sex with a minor. He was sentenced to 6 years in prison for the crime. I spoke with Caprock Academy head of school, Matt Dyers, about what goes into the hiring process.
When an incident like this happens, the first thing we do is check the hiring of that employee, but then we also review and revise, if we need to, our practices, because we want to make sure that we hire the highest quality of teachers and educators and personnel here at Caprock Academy.
Dyers tells me the academy conducts background reviews, including fingerprint checks from the Colorado Bureau of Investigation, which are required. There are reference checks done before interviews, and adjustments are made for thoroughness.
We did do some conversations with our team of directors to make sure that we reviewed those, and part of the deal is for us to, try to dig a little bit deeper into the information that applicants give us.
In a statement provided on September 23rd, Dyers tells Caprock families in part, quote, "For this individual, the required background check returned no prior charges or arrests before employment commenced," end quote.
This kind of thing happens in all places, and Caprock is not exempt from that. If you look at our record and you look at our history, of academic success across the board and national recognitions and graduation rates and those kinds of things, it just goes to speak to all the good people that work here.
Kyle Kawamoto, Fox 4 News.
And in other news, the Jackalopes have left Grand Junction, leaving a void in summer baseball at Suplizio Field. But the city says it's just part of a new chapter. Marge Tobin has more on what's next for the stadium.
With the departure of the Jackalopes, the city of Grand Junction is taking a hard look at how to make the most of Suplizio Fields, one of the most utilized sports facilities in the area.
The stadium, both the Suplizio side and the Stoker side, is host to about 180 events throughout the year. We definitely have a gap in the summertime now with the Jackalopes exiting.
The city is now exploring options for filling that gap, and there's already some interest.
We already have been contacted by a couple of potential users, so there's definitely interest out there. So we're just in that process of evaluating those possibilities.
The Jackalopes provided a lot of entertainment, but Sherbino says their exit was inevitable.
It just was not something that was sustainable.
Despite the change, the city believes Suplizio Fields remains valuable to the community.
We're all teamed up to be able to provide this amazing world-class facility. If each entity built their own facility, it wouldn't be near as special or great of a place as the stadium is.
And while there's no official announcement yet, a formal process to find a new summer tenant is already in the works.
We're looking at doing a similar process that we do anytime that we'd have multiple interested parties. We have different processes with the city that we follow, and so we're going to be likely following one of those processes to be able to evaluate what different users might be interested in providing.
In the meantime, Suplizio Field will continue to be the home for events from high school sports to JUCO baseball and CMU games.
So we're just excited and proud that we're able to have such a great facility that is able to serve so many different interests.
Marge Tobin, Fox 4 News.
Earlier today, U.S. Congressman Jeff Hurd made a visit to the Food Bank of the Rockies here in Grand Junction. The reason? To talk about the importance of hunger relief. Kyle Kawamoto has more on the story.
Food Bank of the Rockies is focusing on fighting food insecurity, which, according to the food bank officials, is at a 10-year high. They are collaborating with local leaders and Congressman Hurd to raise awareness and support hunger relief efforts.
Specifically in Mesa County and our other surrounding areas, we see hunger as 1 to 8 individuals who are experiencing food insecurity. That's a really large number, and we want to make sure that we are able to do what we can to meet that need as it potentially grows in our community.
Congressman Hurd was able to tour and walk the facility, speaking to members of multiple local agencies.
Well, the biggest takeaway I have is the importance of organizations like Food Bank in the Rockies and providing for the food secure here in Mesa County and Western Colorado more largely. They play an essential role in bridging that gap and ensuring that families, both with children and senior citizens, have the ability to put food on the table.
Having that opportunity to see what's happening in the community, how nonprofits are working to decrease the needs within the community is really important for our legislators and lawmakers to see. And
with the government shutdown currently in effect, Henning states that the situation is being monitored closely, acknowledging potential effects of extended shutdowns, but confirms there will be no immediate disruptions to SNAP benefits. Efforts will continue to assess community needs as required.
We constantly will need the support from our volunteers and monetary donations because those are the things that really help us survive in periods of uncertainty.
With the government shutdown, it reminds us the importance of keeping the government open and making sure that we have vital support systems for those in our community that need the most. And I'm committed to doing everything we can to getting the government back open and making sure that organizations like this have the resources that they need.
Kyle Kawamoto, Fox 4 News.
And the annual Angel Tree program at the Joseph Center was recently blessed by a generous donation from a Grand Junction resident. Ren Lewis has more.
We received a generous donation from Stacy and Stephen Holmes.
The Joseph Center, a local nonprofit, recently received a large donation for its annual Angel Tree Christmas gift drive.
We counted, I think, around 972 toys, brand new for the kids for our Angel Tree.
Jessica Martinez, outreach coordinator with the Joseph Center, says the donation is a game changer.
It is going to expand our reach in such an amazing way. It allows us to reach more families, reach more children that are in need this Christmas season. It's a huge blessing.
It's something that I've been doing personally for years, getting toys, getting clothes, getting what I can when I can.
Stacy Holmes, who made the donation, says she started donating to nonprofits and community organizations when she worked in public safety.
I went to the mall one Christmas season, found an angel tree. It was the local police departments. And I started checking tags. Then I realized that the children, even when given the opportunity to get a free toy, were asking for basic needs. And honestly, it broke my heart.
Holmes says she chose to donate to the Joseph Center because
they're a smaller organization, so they maybe don't get as much notice as some of the bigger, well-known names.
When it comes to the donation, Holmes hopes it serves as a call to action.
I hope it has a bigger impact than I even know. I hope that it inspires other people to get involved. It really makes a difference the more we can help not only our community, but those that are around us.
The sign-up form for the Joseph Center's Angel Tree program will open on October 14th, and distribution will be in early December. Ren Lewis, Fox 4 News.
And in other news, the Mesa County Justice Center is almost set for a facelift. Plans were presented before the Mesa County Commissioners on Tuesday that would help move the project forward. Jeff Hinkle sat down with the county's facilities director to find out more.
The bigger the county, the bigger the courthouse. With Mesa County being as big as it is, it's just about time to build an expansion that would give the Mesa County Justice Center plenty of room to conduct operations.
Counties operate the courts based on state mandate, and there's so many courts required by so much requirement, different kind of courts and all. And as that evolves, we're constantly trying to evolve the facilities to meet. So one of the requirements as an expansion was more courts, and more courts comes with more clerks, comes with more probation requirements, comes with more sheriff requirements, all those things.
Those new rooms and courts come with a pretty hefty price tag of just over $3 million, but the final numbers on how much the expansion would cost is still yet to be known. Simpkins compared it to home renovations.
Similar as if you were building a separate building or in addition to your house. You don't know how much it's going to cost until you have everything you need in it before you know, okay, I'm going to do it, or maybe I need to change it, or I need to make it bigger or smaller, whatever. We're kind of at that phase right now, but it was real important to get somebody in early so that they have really good estimates.
FCI Construction was chosen as the contractor for the project, but it might be a little bit before the nails start to go into the wood.
Our estimated build to begin construction is not until late 2027, and that's if assuming we get to that point and it's a feasible thing for the county to take and we have the funding, we move that. If not, we continue to move it until there is funding, or we readdress it and say, do we need to change the scope of what this looks like, to fit whatever requirement it is.
Jeff Hinkle, Fox 4 News.
Simpkins said that keeping the contractors local was one of the factors when taking bids for the contract, and that as of right now, they're on budget with the project. And today is National Coffee with a Cop Day, a chance for law enforcement and community members to connect over a cup of coffee. Two events took place right here in Mesa County, one in Grand Junction and the other in Clifton. Marge Tobin has more.
Officers from the Grand Junction Police and deputies from the Mesa County Sheriff's Office sat down with members of the community to build connections and listen.
We have time set aside to come out and meet the local community members, perhaps visitors to the Grand Junction area, sit down, have some conversation about what's going on in the city.
The event with GJPD took place at Einstein Bros Bagels in Grand Junction.
Met with a nice couple that just moved here a few years ago from Texas. They love the Grand Junction area. They have some questions. We've been talking about that and trying to fill them in on it.
Meanwhile, down the road in Clifton, the Mesa County Sheriff's Office hosted their Coffee with a Cop at Monumental Coffee.
It's an opportunity for us to connect and for people to come up and talk with us about whatever might be on their mind.
From federal policy concerns to everyday safety, the coffee conversations covered it all.
Had the opportunity already today to meet a wonderful young lady and her mother and talk with her about the impending federal shutdown, in that her husband is a federal worker, and just get an idea of how that impacts people in our community as well.
Coffee with a Cop is a national initiative, but here in Mesa County, officers say it's a personal commitment to listen and to connect.
Law enforcement agencies here in our community live in the same community, raise families in the same community, have the same concerns and interests in all those things.
Marge Tobin, Fox 4 News.
A statewide rebate on electric bikes will change in 2026. Jeff Hinkle went to a local small business to talk about how that rebate will affect outdoor recreation around the Western Slope.
Right now in Colorado, you can save some money if you buy an electric bike, but come January 1st, those savings get cut in half.
Biking is for everyone, and saving $450 on a bike has drawn attention not only from those that can comfortably pedal, but
we have customers that are in their 90s and they can get out and actually get exercise.
But come January 1st of next year, the tax credit that can now save you $450 on a bike drops to $225, something that family-owned bike shops in Grand Junction have to be prepared for.
Since it's been going for 2 years, it is kind of something that people have grown accustomed to, but it may affect our volume a little bit, but I do still think that e-bikes are going to continue to be popular.
For one customer, getting an electric bike was life-changing. He lost 150 pounds after he took advantage of the program and got himself an e-bike.
I have neuropathy from my knees down, and I was sitting and dying, and the e-bike brought me back to life. It's so nice to get on an e-bike and ride if it's just around the block every day. But I ride mine about 14 miles a day.
The tax credit doesn't only apply to that one store. According to Manny Pella, pretty much every bike retailer in Grand Junction has hopped on board the program. There's even a couple in Montrose that do it. Even though the rebate is being cut in half, Scheer says that won't discourage him from upgrading his bike in the future.
If there wasn't an e-bike rebate, I'd buy an e-bike anyway.
Jeff Hinkle, Fox 4 News.
Prime Health Plus held a ribbon cutting for its newest facility and made a special announcement while they were at it. Rin Lewis has more.
On Friday, Prime Health Plus, formerly Marillac Health, celebrated the opening of its newest location.
You're standing in front of a building that is your community health center. Doesn't matter whether you have commercial insurance, Medicaid, Medicare, you're uninsured, you have a huge deductible. This is the place where you need to get registered.
The new location will be home to a partnership with CMU Tech.
We decided it would be beneficial to the community to consider partnering on a dental hygiene program.
Bridget Sunderman with CMU Tech says the partnership, set to start next school year, will hugely benefit the Grand Valley.
Our partnership with Prime Health has allowed the community as a whole to benefit by having evening courses available to those that want to stay in the Grand Valley and have a chance at a better life.
Among those who shared remarks at the ceremony were representatives from the offices of Senator Hickenlooper.
I was proud to advocate for the $2.5 million in federal funding that helped make this center a possibility through the congressionally directed spending process back in 2023. This project is a prime example of how our federal investments on the ground can create healthier, stronger, and more resilient communities.
And Senator Bennett.
This project is a testament to the dedication of the staff, the board, the support of the community, and the power of investing locally for direct community needs. I look forward to visiting soon and seeing firsthand how this clinic is improving lives in the Grand Valley.
The clinic is located at 526 29½ Road by the Mesa County Workforce Center. Ren Lewis, Fox 4 News.
And that does it for the Week in Review, a summation of your weekly headlines. Tune back in every Friday. I'm Chad Roderick.